Well, hello, my friends. I'm excited to be here with Dr. Viv Ewing. She is the president and CEO of Children's Square USA. Viv, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Andy, for the invitation. I'm glad to join you today. We have some exciting news to share.
You do. You've got an amazing event coming up here on November 2nd. And before we get into the event details, let's just talk a little bit about Children's Square USA and what your mission is and who you serve.
That's a really good question. Children's Square is 140 years old, 140. And our mission is really building a brighter future for children and families. The services we provide include a children's emergency shelter, early education childhood center, foster care, aftercare, psychiatric services for youth, outpatient services for youth. Those are some of the major ones that we have in place. We have in-home services called behavior health intervention that we go into the home and provide services for families and children there in terms of skill building, helping to prevent issues from becoming big problems. And we also have a special education school on our campus as well.
And I know too, it has an interesting, just briefly tell us about the beginning. I love this story about how it even came to be.
Yes, the origination is really quite interesting. Back in 1882, a gentleman approached Pastor Lemon and his wife Florence to take in 3 little children. The gentleman was from the community. He had lost his job. The community had just suffered a pandemic. Prior to that, there was a flood in the area, a major flood. So the economy was bad. There was a lot of sickness and illness. So his wife had passed away 2 days before Christmas. And so he approached the pastor and wife and said, "Would you take these children?" And after much debate, the pastor finally said, "Yes, we'll take them in," thinking it was temporary, but the man never came back. Yeah. Fast forward over time, more people heard about that and started bringing children in to the pastor and wife. And finally, they had to get a building big enough to hold all these children that were coming. And so back in those days, there was something called the orphan train. And so orphans would come in from other cities, a lot of times from the East Coast, and ended up right in Iowa near Children's Square. So some of those kids came to the campus. It wasn't a campus back then, but it was an orphanage. And then over time, it evolved into what it is today, full wraparound services for children and families.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just amazed at everything Children's Square does. There's so many things. And when we look at the Jason Awards that's coming up again on November 2nd, it really, you're honoring people in the community to help continue to build on the mission of the organization. So let's talk about the Jason Awards and this year, because you've got some really great people that you're honoring. But just the Jason Awards, what is it?
Yes, the Jason Awards has been happening for about 20 years at Children's Square. It's an annual banquet where we recognize individuals who've dedicated a lifetime to helping children and families in the community. This year, we've got 3 wonderful individuals who've been selected for the Jason Award, and that includes Project Harmony, who has a strong reputation in the community nationally and actually internationally of helping children. And Jean Klein will be accepting the award on behalf of Project Harmony. Margaret Goodnow, who is a huge community leader. She spent a lifetime helping children, helping them get on the right track, making sure they had food, making sure they had clothing, teaching them life skills, a wonderful community leader. And then also Pete Tulipana, who's the former CEO of the Iowa West Foundation, who's done tremendous work in the community to make the community better for families and for children.
And during the awards, so is this a Thursday night? Is it a Thursday evening?
It's a Thursday night, and we're having a reception at 5:30. and we will be offering beverages and mingling and a chance to meet the award recipients. And we'll
Yeah.
also be doing some photography at that time. And then the actual banquet, the dinner starts at 7. We will be having a live auction to raise money for our programs and services at Children's Square.
And where is this event taking place at?
It's taking place at the beautiful Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs.
Yeah, and I've been to this event, I mean, many times. And again, it's just such a beautiful evening, and you just feel just the contribution that it does make to the community, and also honoring these individuals.
I would agree.
Yeah. So if people can't attend, how can they support Children's Square?
Yes, several ways. If a person cannot attend, they can certainly make a donation online at childrensquare.org. They can also be a sponsor of the event. We have sponsorship levels at 500, 1,000, and 5,000. Or you can just come by the office and make any type of contribution, or even volunteer for the days leading up to the Jason Awards, where we're assembling materials and that kind of thing. But yes, there's plenty of ways people to get involved and to help, even though they can't attend in person.
Right. And outside of the event, do you need volunteers throughout the year?
You know what we do, Andy? Thank you for bringing that up. Children's Square needs volunteers all year long. We do need volunteers for the Jason Awards. We need volunteers to help assemble centerpieces, to help set the room up, to tear the room down at the end. But throughout the year, we do need volunteers to help us in the office. Sometimes we need help with painting. Sometimes we need help moving materials from one part of the campus to the other. Sometimes it might be small construction projects or just typing letters, but there's a variety of projects where individuals, organizations, and companies can bring teams to come and volunteer.
That's wonderful. So again, just encouraging everybody to look at their calendars for November 2nd. The website, tell me the website.
The website is basically just children'ssquare.org.
That's
You
easy.
don't have to put, you don't even have to put www, just children'ssquare.org.
Yeah, and there's so much information on your website about the event, but about everything that you do. So, well, anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Yes, I would encourage the community to come out and support this wonderful event. It's a night that you won't forget. We're even bringing some of our children from Children's Square to the event as well. So come one and come all.
All right, Viv. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And again, folks, November 2nd, children'ssquare.org. And again, thank you, Viv, for everything that your organization, everything.
We'll see you there.
Yep, see you there. All right, folks, don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, hello, my friends. I am excited to be here with Blake Martin. He is the franchise specialist and president of FranNet of the Heartland. Blake, it's such a great honor to have you on the show, and I'm excited about what we're going to talk about.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let's just talk a little bit about FranNet. And then we're going to go into this event that you put on. But what is your business, and just tell us a little bit about it and what inspired you.
Sure. So if you chose my vocation from a drop-down menu, it would be franchise broker or franchise consultant, interchangeable terms for the same thing.
Sure.
At the end of the day, Andy, what I do is think of me as the match.com for local entrepreneurs, meaning we provide a no-cost coaching and consulting service that helps serial entrepreneurs, corporate refugees, and others who want to start a new business, but they're not quite sure what kind of business is the right fit.
And I mean, we've talked about that. And how long have you been doing this?
Well, I've been in the field of helping small business owners for 22 years now, because I started when I was 11, of course.
Of course, as most entrepreneurs started or earlier. So yes.
I wish. Got the gray hair to prove that it's been
Yeah.
longer than that. But my wife and I started the franchise brokerage business, FranNet of the Heartland, 8 years ago now.
Okay. Okay. And I know we've talked about that. And for anybody who's interested, a great story in Midland's Business Journal at the end of May. You can check it out. But I want to talk about your annual event. And
Sure.
this is, I mean, it's unique and it's also giving back. So when and why did you start this? And talk a little bit. Let's start there because
Yeah.
the event is called FranNet's Annual Celebration and Fundraiser. So let's talk about the when and why, and then I do want to talk about the nonprofit that you are the beneficiary of this event coming up.
Thank you. And I'll tie that into the great question that you asked in the beginning, which is the motivation behind starting our business, FranNet. And one of the major motivators was assuming that we achieve some level of success. My wife and I, we wanted to make a dent. We wanted to make a difference and impact in the communities that have helped us be successful as business owners, and try to lead by example in doing so for other entrepreneurs, for other small business owners. So as soon as we got through our second year of business, the first year is just crazy hair on fire, right? We said, let's do something. And that was 2017 when we said our something is going to be this annual fundraiser and celebration of entrepreneurship.
And 2017, so what did you like that first year? What did you do?
The first year was the Boys and Girls Club of Omaha. And each year we've picked a different beneficiary. The idea has been that we wanted to identify and fundraise for a lesser known, perhaps fledgling charity that is based in the local community and serves people not only in the local community, but perhaps beyond. So each year we've chosen a new one and feel that we've done a fairly good job of helping give them a lift. So, whether that's the Boys and Girls Club, which of course, has been around for a long time, not Boys Town, which has their own movie and everything, right?
Right,
But
right.
a group that could use some additional recognition and a lift in their fundraising. And that's what this year's beneficiary is all about as well.
Yeah. Well, this year's beneficiary, Deaf Child Hope International. We actually had a conversation a day or two ago about this. But tell us about that, because for one, I'm not familiar with what they do, and that's what I love about these conversations is that they can spread the word and let people know what do they do and how can we support them.
I appreciate that, Andy. So again, consistent with our theme, Deaf Child Hope International, which by the way is deafchildhope.org, was founded by J.D. King here in Omaha, Nebraska in 2010, has its roots back to 2008, actually.
Wow.
Their whole mission in the world, and they help deaf children all over the world. There's 25 million deaf children all over who are living in isolation, outcast from the communities, and in a lot of cases deemed unworthy of an education because they're not understood. There's a fear associated with it. So back in 2010, JD decided to do something about it, and he focused on the most isolated, the most exposed deaf child orphans in the world. And today, they now sponsor, through the generosity of sponsors from all over the world, right here out of Omaha, Nebraska, they sponsor 257 deaf children every year to get education, food, water, medical help, and yes, to learn sign language so they can communicate with the world. They sponsor, in fact, 257 children, and I'm looking at the data here, 26 teachers. So sign language teachers in 11 different countries around the world.
Wow.
Yeah. It costs $38 a month to rescue one of these children from isolation and bring them hope.
That, first of all, that is amazing. And again, a nonprofit I was not familiar with, and also knowing that JD in Omaha, Nebraska saw a need and decided to just leap and jump in and do something. And here we are, 23, almost 24 years later. But I think you said actually kind of started in 2008. And is doing something about it, is saying,
Yeah.
there's a need and we're going to do something about it. So,
And you said I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, go for it. Yeah.
As usual, you said it so much more eloquently than I could. He made a decision, he saw a problem, a challenge, and decided to do something about it. He saw a better way. That's what entrepreneurship is. That's what we're supposed to be doing in our communities, helping people who want to be entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs again. And so I just thought it made the perfect marriage, taking a guy like JD and his small team who are so dedicated and so passionate about making a difference in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it also goes back to just entrepreneurship, starting a business, doing what you're doing what I'm doing, and looking at how can we make a difference above and beyond what we do in our businesses. And but every entrepreneur sees something and has an idea or a dream, or there's something that drives them to keep asking questions and then taking the next step and then leaping. I mean, I think we leap multiple times through our journey, because everything's always evolving and we can't stay still. I mean, we're always creating. I mean, that's just a part of who we are, and creating for a greater and a better community, greater and better world. So I love this so much. And going back to the fundraising component, so what are your goals? I mean, how many years have you been doing this?
So I guess you subtract the COVID year, of course.
Okay.
And that means that this is our 6th annual event.
Okay. So again, started in 2017, and
Right.
COVID kind of, threw everybody off. So for this year, and we'll get to the date and the specifics in a moment, but for this year, what are your goals, and how do you measure success from what you do? And is it required? But how do you measure success? From this.
It's a great question. And I'll start with what you just said there. There is absolutely no obligation to donate anything financially in order to attend this event or be involved in this event. We just want to create the awareness. And whether you want to take a dollar out of your pocket or $1,000 out of your pocket or nothing at all, we just ask that you listen to and hear the message during the event of what Deaf Child Hope International does. So anybody can donate, and our goal is to raise at least $5,000. That's associated with the number of deaf, isolated children, mostly in third world countries, that we will be able to help with these donations. So it's $38 a month. I'm not a math major. We all have weaknesses. I can't whip that math up in my head real quick. But we're going to help a lot of children that have no other resources, potentially right here in the Midlands and abroad.
Yeah. Wonderful. And again, first of all, thank you for doing this. So we were talking about the venue, Hot Shops Art Center, which is a freaking amazing venue, and you're having it there. So let's talk about the specifics. The when, the where, the Hot Shops, and why the Hot Shops. I'm going to ask you that too. So
okay. Well, I'll start with the when and the where, which you can get all of this information by going to frannetparty.eventbrite.com, right? So you can do the RSVP and get all the information. FranNet is FRANNET or frannetparty.eventbrite.com, right? And it'll give you all the information. And if you're anybody who has an interest in business and entrepreneurship in the area and or making an impact in the area, then you're qualified to come, okay? It's an adults only affair because it's an evening affair. But if you attend, you will indeed be coming to the Hot Shops Arts Center. And we are so happy that they have generously, once again, donated a space to us, which they do every year. They're the coolest thing going on in Omaha, Nebraska, and they're finally being recognized for it nationally. TripAdvisor now ranks them as the second best destination if you visit Omaha, behind only, of course, the zoo.
Right, I was going to say the zoo. That is amazing, and I'm curious how many people are listening, watching, have been to Hot Shops. I have been to Hot Shops, but I'll admit it has been a while. So I am looking forward to revisiting a place that truly is just amazing and energy electric with creativity.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a hotbed of entrepreneurship too, because, the Hot Shops Art Center, it is effectively a co-working space for budding artisan entrepreneurs of all kinds. Right. And so they've given this space, and they started down there in a old rehabbed warehouse before anybody was doing anything in that area. It's literally a block north of the Schwab baseball field. And they started their rehab of the warehouse there before even what was first called the Quest Center broke ground.
Right.
And that entrepreneurial tie is important to us because at the Hot Shops, they understand supporting and helping entrepreneurs getting going.
So when people come to the event, they can enjoy food.
Yep. Some heavy hors d'oeuvres.
And refreshments. And again, as you said, it's not required to make, this is a free event, not required to make a donation. If you feel, if you'd like to, I personally would encourage everybody to make some kind of donation to this nonprofit, but it's just a great way to get business leaders, entrepreneurs, people that care about the community together in a space and truly just kind of celebrate where we are with everything that's been going on, and also as we enter into the holiday season.
Indeed. Good point, by the way, on the holiday season. If you know somebody, that person that's impossible to shop for in the holiday season, man, does the Hot Shops have some unique artisan things that nobody would ever find anywhere else for that family member or that friend that they can never find a gift for.
So we can buy stuff that night? We can buy stuff?
Absolutely. The Hot Shops is officially a living, walkable art museum now. They are a nonprofit and an art museum, and they will tour you. And you can see things like glass being blown at the Crystal Forge, which is right there on the first floor, and all different artisan crafts and art. And some of their items will actually be in the silent auction that we'll be doing, the silent auction giveaway.
Okay, and people for the silent auction, do you have to attend to be a part of the silent auction? I know sometimes things are offline and neither here nor there, but just thought I'd ask that.
Yes, we do, because we want to celebrate the winners.
Oh.
And that's what you get in exchange for. You can make donations ahead of time, which we greatly appreciate. They go directly to Deaf Child Hope International.
Yeah.
So you can do that through that Eventbrite page. You can donate at the door. You can donate during the event. And then you get tickets for the silent auction raffles.
Okay.
But nobody should feel any obligation to have to donate in order to attend.
Blake, enjoying this conversation so much. Anything else you would like to tell the viewers about your event and coming up again on November 10th, which is a Friday? And what are the hours?
It's from 4 to 7 p.m.
Okay.
On Friday, November 10th. So that's Veterans Weekend, Friday, November 10th. from 4 to 7 p.m. down at the Hot Shops Arts Center, which is 1301 Nicholas Street.
Okay.
And
Wonderful.
what I would like to add in advance, if I could, is a huge thanks to the volunteers that help us pull this off. We like to make a donation on behalf of FranNet to the beneficiary of choice, which is Deaf Child Hope International. And the really hard work and dedication of our volunteer groups allows us to be able to make a sizable donation.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And again, just everything that you do. I look forward to having you back on and talking about franchising and the world of franchising. I've found that fascinating since we've started our conversations and so important to communities. But that's another conversation, another interview at a later date. So Blake, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And everybody, November 10th at the Hot Shop. So again, thanks, Blake.
Thank you, Andy, and thanks for everything you guys do at MBJ for the local small business community.